Hey guys, how's it going? Stoutman coming back at you once again, and today I'm here to talk about some more pickups that I made. I can't stop, and I have a problem. And the big problem here is that, again, because of the tax man taking twice as much as they were supposed to, I currently don't have a lot of money to spend, and yet Criterion just had a sale, so I had to take advantage of it because I have a sickness. And honestly, because of this, I'm probably not going to have much pickups to show next month because I just won't have the money to pick anything up. I won't. So, with that being said, let's get this out of the way and show you what I picked up here. I don't know what I'm going to even talk about in videos during next month entire because I honestly can't see myself buying very much. Maybe I'll pick up some $5 titles. We'll see. Anyways, I am very happy with these pickups because these are all Criterion titles that I've been wanting for quite a while, and um, they're just really cool movies. So, without further ado, let's talk about the first one on the list here, which is a Frank Capra classic. It Happened One Night. Now, this movie is noted for being an excellent example of one of the earlier romantic comedies that were, really just like set the tone and set the subgenre, as it were, from the very beginning. So, it's just when I took a class on film theory, right, and on film criticism, um, one of the things that we talked about was genre theory, and one of the genres that we focused on, primarily because it was like our professor's favorite genre, was the romantic comedy, the rom-com. I know, it's like, well, that's not a big deal. That's not a huge genre or anything like that. Well, no, it is. It's a fairly big genre that's been around for quite a while, this being an earlier example of it. And, there have been a lot of changes in it, and there have been a lot of great romantic comedies out there. This is one of the best. And I think, honestly, because it's a Frank Capra movie, Capra knew this genre inside and out. He was really good with this stuff. Any proof? Need any proof for that? All you need to do is take a look at It's a Wonderful Life, and there you go. Yeah, it's a Christmas movie. It's a holiday movie. But when you look at the relationship in that movie, the relationships, I should say, in that movie, um, this guy knows how to write that stuff, or rather, he knows how to direct that stuff. He's got a keen eye for it. Anyways, I really wanted to pick this up because this is one that I saw in a film class, obviously. Actually, did I see it in a film? No, I didn't. I didn't see it in a film class. We talked about it in the film class, and I decided to watch it, and then, you know, afterward, I took some other classes that, it. We talked a little bit more about some of the themes in it, and I think they showed, after I'd already seen it, they showed like one or two scenes from the movie in one of the classes that I took. And one of the scenes that they showed is actually one of my favorite scenes, and one of the reasons that I picked this up, actually, which is a scene in which they show the two, the mismatched couple here. It's actually, I believe, a part of the scene that we see on the cover here, actually. It's like something that happens afterward. This is set in and during, I should say, the Great Depression, or at least shortly before or shortly after the Great Depression. And so you've got here in this character a rich young woman and a not as rich young man traveling across the country together. It's like a buddy comedy, essentially. And they stop in at this little, little, I can't remember if it's like a hotel or something like that. But when they're there, they are going to like use the showers or whatever that they have there, and they notice like all these poor people who are in line to use these showers and stuff because they don't have any other means of, you know, bathing or anything like that. And, you know, it's just like seeing a bunch of people who are in line to get food because they don't have any other means of feeding themselves, because that's like the way that's how bad it got during the Great Depression, you know what I mean? So you notice like she's seeing this for the first time in this movie, and she's like noticing like, holy crap, things are really bad for people. I had no idea, because she's a, you know, wealthy young woman, so she wouldn't have known. And I really like that aspect to it because honestly, it speaks to a lot of the issues that we're seeing today. You're when you put a character who's rich up with somebody who's not from that class, and then she goes on an adventure with him and experiences what it's like to be more in this guy's class. Um, it really, it's nice to see that kind of thing, right? It definitely is pandering to the lower class audience who wants to see the rich being brought down to their level. But that being said, I don't know. I enjoy that kind of thing, and I enjoy seeing it in a movie this old, first of all, but also I enjoy seeing it in any movie simply because, or especially right now, simply because of all the stuff going on politically and all the stuff going on economically and stuff like that in this country and around the world right now. It has become relevant again, I would say. So, anyways, this is a really nice Blu-ray from Criterion. If you want to know how nice it is, well, it comes with a 4K restoration, very cool. But it also comes with Screwball Comedy, a new conversation between critics Molly Haskell and Philip Lepate. I don't know how to say that word, but that name. Interview with Frank Capra Jr. from 1999. Frank Capra's American Dream, a 1997 feature-length documentary about the director's life and career. Sorry, I had to yawn there. But yeah, right there, they've got a feature-length documentary, essentially a second movie there about Frank Capra. And then they also have a new digital transfer of Capra's first film, the 1921 silent short Volta Fisher's Boarding House, with a new score composed and performed by Donald Sosin. So they also have American Film Institute tribute to Capra from 1982, a trailer, and an essay by critic Farron Smith Nen. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Either way, they have his first movie here, is a 1921 silent short film. They have a documentary, a feature-length documentary about him. They have the movie itself in 4K, and a few extra special features, and an essay, all in one package. So, if you want to talk about getting a good deal here, this, with the 50% off sale that they had on Criterion.com last week, came to $20 for all that content. That's a good deal. Now then, let's get on to the 70s, 80s gritty, like action and crime kind of movies that I got. Let's start. I guess we're going to go in order from oldest to newest, because this, here in 1973 we have The Friends of Eddie Coyle. This is based on a book with the same title. It is very gritty. It is very much one of those New Hollywood movies. It's like a New Hollywood, if you're familiar with the New Hollywood. I've talked about the New Hollywood before. But yeah, New Hollywood being that it's, it came during this time where studios were starting to give more unknown directors more of a chance to do different kinds of movies, more gritty, more realistic, more violent kind of movies and whatnot. And you definitely see that kind of influence in this movie. If you want to see something like it, or an example of something like it, I would say something like Bullet could be seen as an example of kind of the kind of style that they're going for, or even more so, The French Connection. The French Connection is a great example of the kind of gritty kind of crime story that we're seeing from this 70s movie here. It's just a really great movie, and until it came to Criterion, I believe, I think Brandon Skinslip said there's another version of this on Blu-ray somewhere, But until it came to Blu-ray, whether it came to Criterion first or whoever else has it first, um, whether whoever it came to first, until it came to Blu-ray, it was only available on DVD. So, like, I think it was also maybe available on VHS too. But I mean, there had been no other previous Blu-ray release, and there's not likely to be another Blu-ray release of this at any point in time. So, or a new transfer for that matter. So, this is what you get. This is what you're going to. The only one you're going to be able to get. You might as well go with this particular version of the movie. I think you should go with the Criterion version simply because it's the only version I even knew about when I picked it up. I had no idea it was available through any other means. I still I haven't seen it through any other means, so I think honestly Skinslip might actually be mistaking this for something else, but I don't know. If he can provide that linked or something in the comments or whatever, then fucking A, go for it. But I had no idea there was any other fucking release of this. And honestly, if you can get a Criterion of something, why would you get anything else? Fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. I know Arrow does some releases that are better than Criterion, but it's just something about a Criterion, man. The Friends of Eddie Coyle, I first learned about this movie and actually saw it in a film class about New Hollywood. And, it was used as an example of a New Hollywood movie alongside stuff like Head, Five Easy Pieces, Easy Rider, what, Bonnie and Clyde. I swear I'm forgetting something here. But yeah, movies like that, So if you want to know what kind of movie I'm talking about here, The Parallax View, The Long Goodbye, yeah. There's a bunch of movies like that came out around this time, and this is one of them. This is one of those really gritty action crime syndicate kind of movies, and it's really freaking good. Starring Robert Mitchum. The funny thing about Robert Mitchum is even during this time when he made this movie, he was very much not what you would call a method actor. He came about before method acting really became a thing. And at this point, he was getting a lot older. And he still had not, jumped into the whole idea of method acting. He had not, wanted to be a part of that. He wanted to be a part of the old school method of acting. And so, it worked for him, right? And it worked for a lot of people. And he became one of the greater actors of his generation, despite the fact that he wasn't a part of this whole method, And I think it's interesting that I now have two movies with him on Criterion, which would be this and Night of the Hunter. So I've got one from him from the 1950s, and then I've got this one from 1973, so you can see what it looks like 20 years later. So, yeah, I mean, it's a really good movie. You should definitely check it out. I particularly liked one of the sequences with kind of a car chase. It's not like a huge action-packed car chase or anything like that. Not like a Bullet kind of car chase or even a French Connection kind of car chase. But there was a really cool car chase in this. I like seeing car chases from not only this period in film, but also just from New Hollywood in particular, because these were directors who were not afraid to take a chance by putting these cheaper cameras on the roof of a car and just driving around and doing all the stunts and stuff like that and allowing you to see it in this gritty, real fucking way. I love that kind of, car kind of scene, I don't really like the newer kind of car action movies that you see nowadays, like Furious whatever, Fast and Furious whatever, because even though they do stuff like that, it doesn't have the same gritty feel to it, and a lot of their stunts are more stuff that you see from the side rather than on the roof or anything like that. And it seems like even though the price of cameras again has dropped significantly in this generation, they're still afraid to take that chance by putting something on the hood and stuff like that, and getting really down and dirty and gritty and stuff, and it kind of takes me out of it a little bit. Honestly, it really does. So that's why I like going back and looking at movies like this, because they're a lot more fun to see, because they took chances, and it really shows, and it really paid off. Sadly, this doesn't have many special features. Definitely not as many as the special feature packed content in It Happened One Night. This has the 2K, not 4K, but 2K. Again, you're not going to get anything better for this, but the 2K high definition digital restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. It's got an audio commentary from 2009 featuring director Peter Yates, a stills gallery, and a booklet featuring an essay by critic Kent Jones and an excerpted 1973 on-set profile of actor Robert Mitchum by journalist Grover Lewis. But even though that's all you're going to get in terms of special features on this set, it's still worth picking up simply because, there aren't many other options out there, and I don't think that what you're going to get on the other version, if it exists, is going to be any better than this. But also, even though it doesn't seem like much or sound like much, I want to show you the booklet that comes with this. I want to show you the thickness of this booklet. Look how thick this is, all right? This is a thick, hefty booklet, all right? Beautiful pages, beautiful booklet. I don't even know, I don't think there's a page count here, but if there were, I think it would be in the area of like 40 to 50 pages, all right? So just to give you a sense of what we're talking about here, there is a lot of content. If you like to read about film, then you should definitely check this out. Oh wait, here is a page, 44. 44 pages of content in this booklet. This is a hefty booklet, and honestly, when you compare the weight of the Friends of Eddie Coyle with the weight of the other sets, like, it is heavier, literally heavier than the others because of how big the booklet is. So if you're into reading about film, then just for that alone, just for that huge booklet alone, you want to pick up the Friends of Eddie Coyle. Well, also it's a great movie. Last but not least, because you have to make a $50 order or else you don't get free shipping. So I wanted to get the free shipping, so I ordered 3 movies at $20 a piece. And the last one that I got here for $20 was the excellent Michael Mann film Thief, starring James Caan. It is so good, all right? And when I say that, I mean, like, my favorite aspect of this movie, aside from the movie itself being pretty damn good, the acting being excellent, the directing being excellent because it's fucking Michael Mann, aside from all that, is the music. The soundtrack for this movie was produced by Tangerine Dream, and it is fucking amazing, alright? It is an entirely synthwave soundtrack, and it is beautiful. You can literally, if you find this soundtrack, you can literally just put it on and let it play from start to finish, and you will enjoy every last second of it. That's how good it is. It's like, not only is this like proper 80s synthwave music for a score, right? But it's also just really good even today, and really good just to listen to on its own, right? And it really adds to the story of the movie too. I was actually watching recently The Thin Red Line Criterion, and one of the special features they had on there, they were talking about, it was Hans Zimmer who did the music for that movie. And whether or not you like the music for that movie, there was a special feature or supplementary feature on the Criterion edition Blu-ray of that, where Hans Zimmer is actually speaking about like living with Terrence Malick for a year before he even started like working on the score for The Thin Red Line, like before they even knew he was going to be doing that movie. And they worked together on that movie, and he was talking about in this documentary, not documentary, but like in this special feature thing, this interview that he was doing, about the role that music has in telling the story of a movie. And, well, the role that it can have. It doesn't always have a role in telling the story of a movie, but it can have a very important role. And he said it had a very important role in telling the story of the Thin Red Line, and I agree with that. I don't necessarily think it was the best score ever, but it was a really good score. And the words that he had to say about how music can help to tell the story of a movie really struck me because I've always felt that way, especially about John Williams' music. He has always been a consummate storyteller with his music when it comes to his soundtracks for movies. Whether you're talking about something like E.T. or Star Wars or even like Saving Private Ryan or anything else that he's done, or not. Did he do Saving Private Ryan? I swear he did Saving Private Ryan. But if you're talking about stuff like, he always works with Spielberg. I even like the stuff with AI, right? I loved his score for AI, even though it was just so crazy. I love that about it, though. Like, it was so crazy for AI, and yet it was just, it worked. It helped us tell the story. It was very tumultuous, and so was the story of AI. It was very tumultuous. So, yeah, I mean, I have always felt that. And if we want to talk about uh, music helping to tell the story of a movie, in fact, helping to shape the story of a movie, uh, Spielberg has on several occasions told John Williams to go and create the score for the movie that he's doing, and then he has used the entire score that John Williams has produced and shaped the editing of the movie around his score. All right? So you want to talk about music in a movie taking part in shaping the actual story of the movie. That is legitimately and literally what happens with John Williams and Steven Spielberg. And that is what happened, I believe, with Hans Zimmer and Terrence Malick in a lot of cases, and what happens with a lot of musicians who work on the soundtracks for movies. And it happened in the case of Thief as well. It was just so good. And if you want to know, like, if anybody is capable, we were talking about this the other night, but yes, if anybody is capable of telling a great story with not only visual but audio from music and whatnot, if anybody knows how to put music properly to the visual story in order that the music is also telling the story, in order so that the music is also telling the story, it's definitely Michael Mann. And the only evidence you need of that is Miami freaking Vice. All right? Especially the very first episode of Miami Vice, where In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins' In the Air Tonight is playing. And if you have seen that scene, and it honestly, if you've heard that song and if you've seen that scene, then every time you hear that song, that's what you think of immediately. So, yeah, if you need any proof that Michael Mann knows how to put a musical score to a movie or to anything that he does, there's your proof right there. And Thief is even more proof of this. It's just freaking excellent. I'll be honest with you. I fully intend to get the soundtrack of this on vinyl when and if I can find it, because it's just goddamn beautiful, and I want to have that with to go with this particular Blu-ray, even though the Blu-ray itself is very nice. And it comes with a 4K transfer of the movie, audio commentary from Michael Mann, James Caan, and James Caan, and it comes with new interviews from Michael Mann, James Caan, and Johannes Schmeling of the band Tangerine Dream. So you actually get to hear from the person himself, or from the composer of the actual music in the film, which I can't stop gushing about, So that's really cool. Also comes with a trailer, and it is a Blu-ray and DVD pack. I'll just go ahead and show you. You get the Blu-ray, this is the DVD, and here's the Blu-ray. And then a booklet featuring an essay by critic Nick James. The booklet is not as thick as the booklet that you would get with Friends of Eddie Coyle, but it's a fairly sized booklet, and it's really nice. Yes, you're like, oh, it's just got a stupid spark across. No. You need to actually see the movie. And yeah, I believe it's actually on either Netflix or Amazon Prime right now. It's on Amazon Prime for sure. So if you have Amazon Prime, you should definitely check that out. It's free on there. If you don't believe me that this is a good movie, go watch it and you will see for yourself. And then you'll want to pick up the goddamn Blu-ray. So part of the story here in this movie, which, by the way, stars Willie Nelson, uh, is that he's a thief, obviously, and he's using something here that creates sparks in order to steal something. I won't give you any other hints. You need to see it for yourself. So, yeah. I mean, there's your other hints. But yeah, it's a really great movie. Really great, like, written dialogue in this as well. So, it's not just the music. It's the dialogue. It's the story. It's just a really great movie. You definitely need to check it out. If you like Michael Mann's work that he did during the time that he was doing, like, Miami Vice. If you like Miami Vice, then you owe it to yourself to check out Thief, because he did it around the same time that he was doing Miami Vice. So, need I say more? You know, it's like, it very much feels like a Miami Vice kind of movie, and it's just watch it, all right? Watch it on Amazon Prime if you have it, and if not, pick up this Blu-ray because it's so freaking worth it. And oh my God, that text, that font, doesn't that remind you of Unsolved Mysteries? It's so, I don't know. I like it. But anyways, that'll do it for me today. That's all I picked up from Criterion, and that's probably all I'm going to pick up of worth for another month or so. So, yeah, I mean, I've got other things that I need to be focusing on right now, so we'll see. Hopefully I can pick up a few things, but otherwise I'll probably just make videos talking about movies or about movie news or whatnot. I had an idea actually to do a series of shorter videos where I just quickly and as quick as I can talk about some film theories that I have. So yeah, as in like 60-second videos where I quickly talk as I can about a movie that I have a particular thought about, you know, and just call it 60-second film theory. I don't know. I might do that. I might not. We'll see. Either way, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Peace.